Check, check. All right, microphone's working now. That's freaking weird. This thing has been a pain in my butt. Let me tell you. We back. All right. So, as expected, I did not find anything related to the power circuit on the LT. Um, so I went and did a very, very, very stupid thing, and I bought another one. So, actually, I had my eye on this one for a week, and I figured, and I told myself if I got this one working, which I did, I mean, I pretty much got it working, I'd buy the other one because the other one is in actually better cosmetic condition than this one is. And so I'm planning on getting this completely fixed and then selling it to fund the other one. So that was my justification for it. It was an absurd amount of money, and I hope I'm not going to regret my decision. But it is what it is, and yeah, I'm just gonna have to maybe use it as a reference and see if I can figure out where the break's coming from. And sometime next week, Mr. Luke from Metro 6 is also going to be working on one as well, so maybe he can work his magic and diagram the circuit out better than I can, because I can work with the multimeter, but yeah, he actually understands circuit design and what he's looking at way more than I do. So, that is what it is, and hopefully he can help me figure out what my issue is. But if not, we'll just keep poking. So I found that I did install the speaker slot correctly as well. So let's get this back under the microscope. There's a couple of little weird techniques I'm going to use. One weird technique, at least, that I'm going to use today, which is I'm going to basically use a piece of wire that I've stripped down as kind of like a paintbrush, and that way I can maybe, just maybe, uh, figure out where this signal is connected to. So we did figure out the other day that it does travel down to this switch down here, which is right here, and then we've got that one line. And so the problem is that trace disappears under the switch. It is not that guy. Let's do this real quick. Focus here. So you can see that trace right there, but that's not. So that is there. Yeah. So this trace right here is what leads back to the power circuit, right? So we figured that out the other day. That's pretty much as far as we kind of got. So just to verify, yeah. Now, we did kind of poke around the area. Oh, look at that. That's completely not what I was looking for. That's probably a ground. That's my guess. Yeah, it's a ground. So, unfortunately, everything in the area is coming up butkus for me in terms of where this line actually comes out. I kind of, we went through everything, and nothing's really showing up. Unfortunately, I just don't know where this guy goes. It might end up. See, I was thinking and I was hoping maybe, but we can see that basically all those connections that we've checked and it's just not really giving us anything good. So I'm thinking the paintbrush technique is going to get me where I need to go. I'm just going to do some quick poking around real fast. Seizure mode. Driving me nuts now. We're basically doing this blind, which kind of sucks. I much prefer having some sort of diagram to look at, but well, welcome to working on very obscure systems, I guess. Just making sure that I'm in the right spot. I'm sure this variable resistor has nothing to do with what I need. It doesn't. And see, none of these are coming up the way I need. Yeah. Just wish I knew more about where that was going. If I look at the other side again, I think I figured out that what I was calling transformers are actually resonating crystals. That's looking a little ugly right there, isn't it? That's fine. Just still convinced. I'm guessing this is all related to the TV tuner, because that's what's right on top of this. Just don't get it. Where could you go? Where could you possibly go? Just these are ground planes. Let me connect to that because we tested it. Alright. Nothing up here. As expected, really. See, I think this is the DIN connector for the controller. So I don't know why power would have to flow through that, but you never know. This is an audio amp. I think. Maybe not. Maybe not. The audio amp is a JRC chip if I remember right, but I'm not really expecting this to show up anywhere like this far down the line, but you never know. Alright, so let's stop mucking around. Let me just try this, because I've never really done this method before. So this will be a first for me. Essentially, I'm just going to basically wrapped some wires around one probe. Then I'm going to take some of these the other side, kind of spread the wires out a little bit like a paintbrush here. It's a little not going the way I was expecting it to, but it's fine. As long as we get some spread points of contact, so they basically see like, looks like that. I probably could shorten it some, but so now what I'm gonna do, see if I do this, and we're just gonna test it. Okay. I find an area. Huzzah. Okay. So we'll set that aside in case I have to use it again. Now, it does look like okay. So there's another 3-prong device. Pardon, bumping on the camera, so. Okay. So this is making sense to me now. Fortunately, I mean that's a good thing, because if I've got a direct path from here to here, hopefully that's not a ground. It's not. Okay, so what is this? I think it's going to be one of those resonating crystals again. Or no. Yeah, it's the... Okay, so it's going directly to this guy right here, X500. Now, X500, that would make sense. That would also kind of make sense as to why this thing was clicking. I wonder if that So this is a relay, right? We determined this the other day. Like this is a relay. And relays do make a clicking noise. Although I'm sure it wasn't intended to make a clicking noise, but I'm going to write this down because I might be able to order another one of these. And I looked it up, and there were. So it's a Matu, oh, Matsu TK1 6-volt. Okay, so we've got that written down. I'm wondering if that's the case here. I have really no way of knowing. I don't even know how I would test that. Okay, so let's just take a look at the X500 pinout again. I might actually have to take my usual break. I'm really gonna. I should really replace those resistors, honestly. I'm ordering parts this week, so I think I'm gonna just replace those two resistors. Might as well. Anyway, what is this fuzz doing? Get this fuzzball out of here. Man, I really wish I had an ultrasonic. Okay, so we're just dilly-dallying now. All right, so we said so the trace is intact in here. Yeah, are these two connected? No, those are. Those aren't. What about these two? Oh, wait a minute. Is this a ground? I thought it wasn't. I checked. It does connect down here, right? Yeah. So where does that go? So that's going to be the pin closest to the. So I don't think I could see anything from there, though. So let's just take a look and see if I can't see anything. So I think. What was I saying? It would be this pin, yeah, so I'm thinking okay, so I don't really know what the frig this thing is. Alright, I'll be right back. All right, very sorry, very sorry about that. All right, so that's where we're left, right? Now there's two vias. Are those connected? So let me take a look here. The vias are going to be in this area. Okay. Would make sense. Be right here. Okay, we've got those. Now those are connected to power in, but I don't think they'll be connected to. No, that's ground. This is ground right here. So this won't be connected. Yeah, that's ground. Okay, so those two vias are ground. Now okay, are you connected to this guy? No. Here? No. I mean, not there, not there, not there. So where is this coming up at? Let's see here. That would not make sense. So. Okay. But this isn't directly connected to this. Is that getting 7 volts? I guess we can. It's kind of a slightly janky setup with this, but it works, so I'm not gonna really complain. Okay, now do we have 7 volts on that pin? Alright, let's see here real quick. These should be ground. But am I getting... No? Huh. That's the other problem that we're going to have is this damn thing is so finicky. I'm not even seeing... Double check the power real quick. Power's on, but issues that are so unreliable as to whether or not it's actually making good contact. I can't. Alright, so I got 7 volts now. Do I have 7 volts here? Alright, so I'm getting 7 volts to where I'm expecting to get 7 volts. Perfect. Okay. So we got that figured out. So it is making it to where it should be going. Okay, so now the question remains, where the heck does it go from there? Actually, I did that. Probably better off trying to keep tracing the voltage to see if I can see if the 7 volts show up anywhere else. Seven volts there. 7 volts there. Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. 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 So we get the 7 volts, and then it just disappears. Okay. So slight dead end, but not really. We just have to figure out what the hell this. I think this is actually a transformer, but I could be wrong. So I guess just see if we can figure it out on the surface where this is going to, because there's nothing down here. So you could see that. Where's that relay hook into? Or is it the relay? Actually, never mind. That is the relay. I think that relay is dead. I think the relay's dead. So there's a... That's just a ground, is it not? Let's check. It might just be ground right there. No, but that goes directly to this. It's going to be right in the middle, right above. Oh no, there is 2 right there. That's not a ground? Yeah, that's ground. Okay, so that's not it. I don't know what the F this thing is supposed to be. So now, I wonder if I plug in. So that's this right here. Okay. All right. Back to the voltage check here. Back to the voltage check. Okay. So 7 volts coming in there. Nothing now. 7 volts in the middle pin. 7 volts. 7 volts. Volts, 5 volts. Alright, so now what about, actually, I did want to look, so we still have our 7 volt rating here, right? We do. What about here? -6. So we're supposed to get 7 volts in this middle pin too. Okay. Alright. Now, what is that middle pin connected to? Is it the middle pin connected to ground? So is this feeding? No. But I'm guessing, I'm going to try it on the other side now. Just kind of guessing that we're not getting 7 volts on that. Back to voltage mode here. See if we're going to get 7 volts coming in. Yes. Now in this middle, now here, nothing. Here, 7, then here, nothing. Seven, nothing. I'm wondering if that's it. I am wondering if that is it. So, basically, if this is a relay, and this works in the same way that relays I'm very familiar with work, basically this acts like a switch, kind of like a flip-flop. Now, you can see right there, see how it says switch 501? So this is basically like Electronic switch. And I think it's gone bad. Which would explain, again, why I was hearing the clicking sound. Okay. So I think that's kind of as far as I can go with this today. Which is okay. I got way farther than I was expecting to be. Very, very, very honest. So we got that going for us. Okay. That's something to look into, and I can see if maybe I can source the parts somewhere. I know I was seeing them for like, oh, frig, come on. I don't know why it does this. Oh, come on. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why it's... Why it just decided that it's gonna... There we go. I don't freaking know. It just does this now. Maybe it's a bad connection or something. I'll have to take a look, see if I can't suss anything out. But, for real, that's kind of a good find. And I think I might actually be able to maybe find a replacement for it. So, and on top of which, I will have another one of these coming in, so I will hopefully be able to actually run some side-by-side comparisons. So, not that going for us, but that's not going to show up until next weekend at the absolute earliest, and that's if he gets it shipped, which in Japan would be today, which would mean tomorrow. DHL is usually pretty reliable, but you never know with the Thanksgiving holiday next weekend and Black Friday. Yeah, things might be a little wonky. All right, well, that was some pretty good fault finding. So, the other thing I wanted to do today, it's going to be a relatively shorter stream today, I have a feeling. As we've got another Neo Geo. Thankfully, this one already had all of the rubber feet removed for me. This was a no power, so I wanted to triage this one. Oh, this has been definitely been opened before, 100%. So we're just gonna have to hope and pray here. Sometimes no power issues are very easy to solve. Sometimes you get what I got last time, which is an abject horror show of a PCB. But even then, I managed to get that one running for the time being. That feels like it's stripped, honestly. That's never fun. There's a very deeply recessed hole, so drilling that one out is not going to be easy. Oh, look, this one also only has the one screw on the side, so I guess the very early revisions these feel stripped. They're not very big screws, so like they should pop out pretty easy. Okay. Okay, so you might have some strip screws posts here. Grab my plastic tool here. That one came out, so we got that guy out. Okay, perfect. Now we just gotta do the same on this side. I have a feeling this is not going to go as well as I thought it was going to go for me, but alright, there we go. So either it's a little stripped or I just wasn't lining things up correctly. Alright, we definitely have another 5-volt system on our hands. I just dropped the power switch. So we're gonna go rescue that real quick. Okay. Alright, so let's see what we're looking at here. Oh my god. Well, that would be why I have no power, I'm guessing. So, alright, already. I can see massive rust damage right there. Well, shoot. Looks like we've got some leaky capacitors. If that is honestly the only issue with this board. Nope. Oh man, yeah, this whole thing is in dire need of a recap. It's an AES3. Alright, so let's pull this board off real quick. Yeah, all of the capacitors in this board have done some serious leaking. Just kind of doing some minor visual checks. Thankfully, besides the video encoder, which I actually have a spare for if I need to install it, there's two other ICs that are kind of damaged. Alright, so let's get this under the microscope real quick. And I'll show you what I'm looking at. Look at that. That's gotta be capacitor goo, right? Like, what else could that be? This is just flux, but what is that? I mean, the only reason I say it's capacitor juice is because look at all the capacitors. What the F happened? I mean, they definitely... Yeah. And then down here... I don't know, there's... This Toshiba chip looks Like it suffered a lot of heat damage, so that's not a good sign. This is what I'm talking about. This Toshiba chip you can see is kind of looking like it's had a bunch of heat put through it. I think that might actually be the BIOS. So if that's the BIOS, then no biggie, to be quite honest, because I will be replacing the BIOS in this system. So, but everything else, so it's gonna be. Oh shit! God dang it! All right, so this is what I'm looking at here. So you can see now. You guys can see whatever the crap this was. I guess it's cap fluid. It's going to be real fun to clean that up. And then we've got, let's see, very similar damage down here. And I'm assuming that since everything is the same color, that it is definitely 100% just leaky calves. Look at this. I mean, I've never seen this stuff this thick before. I mean, it definitely could be rosin flux, but it's kind of odd that they're all around the... I wonder what happens if I burn it. I'm going to put some under the... I'm going to tap some with a soldering iron and see what it smells like. If it's dead fish, then we know for sure it's electrolytic fluid. I don't know. It's gotta be electrolytic fluid, right? What else could it frickin' be? I got this down here. But it's not really like... Doesn't look like it's corroding anything. That's the weird thing, except if these guys look a little... Maybe? What the god dang heck? I just don't know. I mean, obviously I'm going to have to buy a recap kit for this. And we're just going to recap it. I'm going to have to get in there with the... Let's see if I can find an area I might be able to clean. Like this is within my reach. So let's see if I can maybe clean this. I mean, just real quick, just heat this up, see what happens. Like I just don't... Soda? Like it's not smelling or anything. That's the weird thing. All right, let's take a little bit of ISO to it. Let's see if I can clean it up. Doesn't really seem like it's coming up with the ISO. If I grab a Q-tip, I mean that is like syrup almost. Like a hard crust on these things. But this is another nightmare job from this guy. I think this is the last no power I'm going to buy from this guy ever. Because both that I've got have just been just like, this is nightmare stuff. What the hell is this? Maybe, am I chasing my tail? Is it like just seriously like some sort of glue or something like that that they put underneath the caps? But here's another one right here. It just seems so weird. And that the fact that there's really no additional corrosion. And like, why would a fluid make it all the way up to the... I really want to say it's old rosin flux. You know, I mean, maybe we just screw it. Maybe we actually just pull it out and do a power test, see what we get. I think that's what we do, boys. Because I'm just curious at this point. These screws are definitely... I'm definitely not the first person that's been in here. So let's see what we get. These screws are coming out way too easy for me to be the first person that opened this, so I'm wondering if somebody opened this, saw that, was like, yeah, no, not dealing with it. That is very, very possible. Alright. Bottom case looks pretty clean. Let's flip her on over. I've got whatever the living fuck that's supposed to be. What the fuck? That... What the actual flying fuck was that? Looks like it's a transistor, but it's only got one pin coming out of it. That's definitely rosin flux. The board looks essentially pristine, minus a couple of spots. I have literally no effing clue what this thing was or is. Definitely looks like it's missing a leg. But that's a piece of rubber. What the heck was this? I don't even know. Okay, we're gonna slap on some power here. And we're gonna see what is what. Stay right there. All right, so let's see here. We're gonna look at a couple of weird areas on the board real quick before I do the power thing. Let's go see what this is. There's some corrosion looking right here, but again, it's not really anything crazy. Keep you together. It's like a little scrub-a-dub would clean that up. Yeah, just fine. So honestly, a pristine PCB. Besides whatever the heck that gunk is. Well, maybe I'll order a maybe I'll order myself a recap kit just in case, you know. I mean, there's no harm in doing a power-up test. We know that the diagnosis was no power. But, you know, end of the day, we don't really know that that means no power. So we will investigate. Okay. So I think the red's gonna go. Add a little, just add a little fresh kind of makes things wet down a lot easier. There we go. That'll be fine. Black is going to get the same treatment. All right. A very short stream today. I am honestly okay with that. Okay. So we're gonna just add a little bit of fresh solder on this side. There we go. Should be all I need. Want to avoid the mini bridge situation I had yesterday, which is just a pain in the ass, really, more than anything. All right, perfect. So now I'm just gonna have to. Why, hello, cat. How are you? Cat has decided to join me on my shoulder, as was tradition past couple of weekends. I don't know why she enjoys it, but she does, so good for her. Alrighty. That should be enough to put it on too. Do the same thing for this side. Alrighty. So that should be that. That should be that. Then one, two. I could just keep this circuit board off the just go like this. I don't really want to use that, to be quite honest. This should be sufficient. Alright. Alright. Now clip red to the red here. Leave that that way. And then clip the black to the black. Leave that off to that side. That way we don't have any possibilities of shorts. I can see where somebody looks like they took off the foam padding that was underneath this to. Oh man. So did they put a new 5-volt regulator in here? That looks a little shitty. Let's take a look at that under the microscope real fast before I put power through. So this is what I'm looking at right here. That looks pretty terrible to me. Alright, so I'm thinking they lifted the pads here. And I am going to have to fix that. Which is not a huge deal, but what a pain in the tuchus, huh? Alright. Let's just get you. Come on, board holder. Cooperate with me here. Doesn't need to be perfect. This is so cramped right now. Come on. There we go. Alright. That should let me look at this a little bit better here. So, if I'm thinking right here, this guy completely now they're bridged. So let's hit this with some flux. Okay, and then we're gonna see if we actually have connections where we need to go, but that looked pretty poor to me. If you're gonna ask me, soldering work down here is pretty shitty. And that, my friends, is 100%. 100%. missing traces. So I think we have discovered. Cat, you are driving me nuts now. Come on, go. No. All right, so we need to rebuild these traces, and I think we can do that with just some kind art. 5 volts going through kind art would be fine. Maybe better off with something thicker, huh? Problem is, I don't really know what's what. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I just noticed this too. The whole thing is completely lifted. This whole board has to be rewired here. Alrighty. Now, I don't know. I'm going to have to literally check every single connection on this, aren't I? And make sure they're not lifted. See if they're lifted. See how that's wiggling? Wiggling. We might have that one okay. I mean, that would be kind of neat if that's really my only issue here. Just rebuilding this power board, but... Okay. That needs restoration. That needs restoration. I think we're just gonna... I think this one's okay, actually. So to be quite honest, I wonder if I can get away with good old capacitor leg trick here. Let's get some legs pulled out. And we're gonna go find my grinding pen real fast. I guess we'll clean this area up real quick just so I can see better. I think we got lucky on that far right, but yeah, those others are definitely not okay. And there's my grinding pen real quick. Still have yet to charge this, even though I've been telling myself I should charge this thing for ages now. I just haven't done it. Okay, so I'm gonna just turn this back just a little bit. The same thing right here. Okay, and then up here we're gonna need to expose that. And that. think we should be able to repair those with straight solder. Oh, I don't know. We might strengthen it with more capacitor legs, but yeah, whoever worked on this sure did a number. Actually, that's a good point. I think on this one especially, since I've got might be able to just kind of get some better strength on that one. So now, do I have actual connections? I'm thinking it's probably intermittent. So like, no, definitely not. Definitely not there either. All right. All right, all right, all right. This ended up turning into a longer stream than I anticipated because I just figured I'd be taking notes today. And yeah, you can see like how all the copper on the board is. So I don't really like using the grinding pen. But there's nothing here that I can really short because stuff is so fine. Now these guys, how are these looking? Good. 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 So it must have just been someone with too much mechanical force. That one I'm not going to be able to repair, but let's see here. Basically going to be using a heck of a lot of flux. Because we're going to try to just glob some solder on. Let's see if that's enough to repair the connection, but my guess is going to be no. You can see that pad, how that pad's all just lifted up now, but I'm not too sure, but it definitely does not look like that worked. I mean, end of the day, if I've got to just yeah, literally not working. Thinking the only thing I can do here is probably good. We're just gonna have to jump, and then I'm gonna like have to like either just epoxy this down with some. Yeah. And it's just not gonna jump that gap. And again, end of the day too, it's gonna not have enough strength on it. Yeah. Well, it was worth a shot, but I still think even with that there like that. It's like barely hanging on. That's not even hanging on. Okay, and that should restore that connection. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so end of the day, we're gonna need to come back in and do more work here. I really have to give this board a good scrub too when we're done. I'm hoping that should be enough to at least get some solder flowing there, and then I can run the wire from. Alright. That's pretty good there. Nothing down here. It's gonna be more of the same. Okay, let's actually clean that up a little bit here. Okay. 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 See if we can get some old solder flowing onto that. Okay. And from there, we can hopefully way more than I needed, but see if we can get this to stay. I'll start with this side, a little bit easier. Oop. All right. I think we are good there. Okay, now, can I actually clean this up so that I don't have this huge blobby looking piece of crap right here? Might have done that. And get this to kind of lift up. There we go. And I can just clip this. All right. It's not the prettiest right now, but minus that guy, which I don't think I'm going to be able to secure. We are looking good now. Question remains. All right. So we know for a fact that we're going to need just a little bit more exposed copper than that. Makes my just a little easier. actually just end up jumping up there instead, though. I did all that and thinking really what I'd like to do is more that than anything. But that might actually work. We're just for posterity's sake, because I think this would be a much better connection. It is going to go like so. Okay. Honestly, now we have a far better solution. That. Perfect. So now, actually, let's see that. I think at the day we're just going to add a little bit more solder. We'll be all right. Kind of what I was afraid of, but not really at the same time. That's better. Nice and shiny there. Which means that now I should have a connection from yes, sir. Okay. The question remains, do I want to do guess we could just try the mini jump here. I think it is probably not the play though. Yeah, because I don't want this to touch. So it's like this is going to be a pretty tricky solder. It's going to have to like essentially just do this. Just like that. Let's see if maybe we can get that to work. I think that did it though. So now should have connection from here to here. All right. I mean, to be fair, it's not looking too bad. I'm obviously gonna have to come in with some UV solder mask. kind of why I like no power systems, because a lot of the times with the older ones, like the older consoles at the very least, no powers are very easy to suss out because it's usually something really simple like a blown regulator, a leaky capacitor, fucking missing trace, something small, right? You know, it's not like you have all these crazy BGA ICs communicating with each other and not working or whatever. And, you know, just like you get the Switch, you get a black screen, you don't know if that's because an IC is dead or one of a million freaking things. But now, connections are far more solid. And just to cover my butt here, I am going to Kapton tape the back side of this board for now. A scissor. That way, we can at least sleep a little bit easier knowing that pretty much all these are covered. Then I'll come back with some solder mask for the final job. Maybe touch things up again. But now I know when this thing, if I put power through this thing, it's not going to short anything else out. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing because obviously I'm just not really good at keeping things on frame. Extra strip here should kind of cover me. Well, just did that. Thankfully, most of this PCB is completely bare, so not really worried about that doing any damage. Okay. Cool. So I just basically nice little layer Kapton tape. Keep everything from shorting out, and then wanted to verify that I got my wiring correct. Alright. Okay, 5 volt, 2 amp. Verifying. Red at the top, black at the bottom. We are good to go. I am not having you guys come. Fuck. Shit. You have things set up right, but. Okay, so. Okay, it looks like it's powering on okay. Okay, now I'm going to give it the basic monitor test. Doing a basic monitor test, I basically just use composite video, and then the system should self-test and produce a blue screen. Okay, so hook you up real fast, just like so, and grab power from the monitor. Okay. Alright. Power for the monitor. Alright, you can see how it says AV now and no signal. I want to turn this on. Alright. Well, I mean, Okay, so not exactly what I wanted to see. Feels like it's stuck in a reset loop, but I could be wrong on that. Let's do this real quick just to kind of make sure that that board's not really touching anything. Definitely don't want those guys to touch. Yeah, it's usually the sign of an underpowered system, but I could double check down here. Make sure I am getting 5 volts. Okay. Let's see what we got. Because that regulator could be shot. I think it's just a 7805, so yeah, I'm getting 4.77 volts. So that's not really enough. So I'm assuming that regulator is not doing what it needs to be doing. Let's measure it again real quick. Alright, so in, I've got 4.8 volts going in, it says. And then out, 4.7. So like, what if I increase the voltage a little bit? Nope. That's not enough. Alright, so I'm going to do this a smart way. I'm going to stick this at 5.1 volts. See what happens. Let's see what we got going in now. 4.93 and then out. Still 4.8. Okay. That brings it to 5.2 volts. And it's the same thing. It's at 4.97, and then coming in is 5 volts. So it's 5.3. It's still the same thing. But now I got a solid 5 volts coming out. I mean, it very well could be a capacitor issue, so I'm probably going to order a cap kit. Red screen. Red screen usually, I think, means a bad palette RAM. This is going to be an interesting one to fix. Well, there goes my hopes of it being just a frickin' power board, I suppose. I don't even know why I'm about to do this, but let's just do one quick cartridge test and see what we get. I really don't expect to see anything different, but you never know. You never know. Yeah. Okay. I think we have a palette RAM issue. Alright, well, the good thing actually, that's the other thing I could do real quick, and then we'll call it a day on it. But we are gonna, I'll order a cap kit for it, and I have a diagnostic bias on the way from the UK, and I don't know if that's gonna get me past this or not, but I'm gonna go through a couple of things, but a little disappointed, but not too disappointed, because can't really expect everything to be easy. And this will give us some good content, you know? And I actually kind of really enjoy working on these Neo Geos because everything is so spaced out wonderfully. And let's turn the power off. You out the way. I'm going to do a couple of quick looks over the board here. I'm going to order a cap kit. I'm still not convinced it's the caps. I know it sounds silly, but to me, all those caps didn't look like they were swollen. I still don't know what the brown stuff is, but it wasn't cleaning off like electrolyte. It's not electrolytic fluid. There's no way it's electrolytic fluid. It's got to be some sort of glue, or because they did hot glue capacitors a lot on these systems, and so I can't tell if that purple mark was him coming in and changing that. Well, I guess I could real quick. I wanted to see if anything was heating up. Yeah. Good news is I don't think anything important. I shorted. Nothing's. Yeah, nothing's really popping out to me at all. There's no heat at all on this board. And I mean, that's just a 7805. I've got another I can replace it with, but could check that. Well, I mean, we're getting the voltage to the board. Could be a dead cap. Could be, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna have to run the diagnostic BIOS and figure it out, I guess, because I mean, yeah, the obvious. I wonder if it. All those transistors, and then. It's like this board had the revision for the 9-volt stuff, but doesn't actually have it. Neo AES -3, so it is definitely a very early revision. I'm guessing that stuff is glue. I don't know. I'll do my best to clean it off, but with the way this stuff is gooped up around the capacitors, I don't think it's a capacitor now. Looking around to see if. So why is there tape in the middle of this board? Just so many odd questions I have about this shit. Doesn't seem like anything's damaged there. Now where does that red line go to here? Basically right there, huh? Just directly into that 220 capacitor, which looks absolutely fine to me. Yeah, I mean, it's a puzzling problem. But I guess I'll order the recap kit. Okay, well, I ain't solving it today, that's for damn sure. So, I think what I'm going to do is just pack it up and go order me some parts and call it a day. Because, I don't know, kind of got what I wanted to get accomplished today accomplished. And I really can't go any farther with this anyhow. So, might as well just kind of pack it in and call it a day. Bag up all these parts here. Turn off all my equipment while I'm thinking about it. Alrighty, so. Alright, so these are the case screws. Okay, and then these are the motherboard chassis screws. Perfect. All right, calling it a day. We had a pretty successful day today, and I'm gonna go research that relay. I'm gonna go research that relay, see if I can figure out if I can still get one somewhere, and get one on order, and then get some other parts on order for next weekend, and hopefully by next weekend we'll have another LT to work on and get a little farther with this Neo Geo, and the other one that I've got, my US one, is functional, and then of course we've got the original one, which is still caked in 4 pounds of crud and needing a lot of touch-up work, but we'll save that for another time. I think I'm actually going to end up sending that board off to be ultrasonic cleaned, but we'll see. Anyway, I had a good day. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I hope to see you here next weekend. I stream every Saturday and Sunday from between 11 and noon Central Standard Time. Usually go a little bit longer than I went today, but I think I'm just going to go enjoy the rest of my afternoon and get ready for the Thanksgiving holiday. And I hope everybody that's watching who celebrates is going to enjoy their Thanksgiving holiday. Don't yell at your family too much. Eat as much turkey as you possibly can. And maybe you'll see me on doing a stream Black Friday. If not, I will see you next weekend. And I